Well, I wanted to do a update on my adventure down the natural dyeing rabbit hole. And we've done quite a few together, but in case some of you haven't, seen what we've been up to, I will catch you up on the various dyes that we've already played with. The very first one that we did was Marigold. I did that back in September, and that was kind of like, whoop, that sent me down the hole. And I did various fabrics, and I used natural fabrics, and I tried synthetic ones just to see what it would do. I know with natural dyeing, it's more common that you would want to use the natural fabrics, but hey, I'm just playing around and experimenting and see what happens. So, that was, like I said, back in September, the marigold. And then many of us have already played around with avocado, but I wanted to do it with different pieces of paper, different types of fabric, and different modifiers to see what it would do. And at the same time, I also did some spinach and threw some spinach and some of the avocado with some eco printing to see how that would come out. So that was kind of cool. Had fun with that. I also decided to use the bark of the crepe myrtle because with my eco printing, I get really nice results with the crepe myrtles. And they are also in the eucalyptus family, which pretty much most of eucalyptus dye really well and make really cool eco prints. So I decided to get some of the bark and boil that up and see what I could get. You can see there isn't too much difference here in these little squares. This is the neutral one. Looks pretty much like, coffee. Um, but when we put some of the modifiers in here, they change a tiny bit, but enough to be interesting. I tried natural, which was just some gauze that I put in there, and then I put a synthetic one, and it really it did a nice dye job, even on the synthetic. And then I put in just a um, ready-made tag. And, they have like a little bit of like a manila color, has a little bit of a yellow tone to it. So it came up with a little bit of a rose, almost close to when you do the avocado dyeing, kind of close. So that was kind of cool. That was fun. Then this month we played around with the Maiz Morado, which it gives a really rich purple color. And you can see here the wide variety of shades that we came out with. These are different types of paper, and this is cotton down here. Very, very pretty. Um, Keeping with kind of the purples, but they came out blues. I don't know. We did the red cabbage, and you can see a wide variety. We have purples and blues and purples and green and, you know, yeah. Yellow green, kind of really really cool colors. That was a lot of fun. That was kind of a surprise to me how many different shades we got with the red cabbage. Then I did the beets, and I only put in the papers. I still have the dye bath saved, and I'm going to be throwing in some little pieces of fabrics and see what happens. But you can see here also a lot of different shades with the beets. Black beans. I've played around with black beans with my eco printing before, but I never did any modifiers with it. I just used it naturally. And I've also done fabric with this. But it was interesting to see the various shades that you could get when adding things to the dye. Also, I used just the straight black bean on some eco printing, no modifiers at all, and did some eco printing, and it came out kind of cool there on that envelope. And I don't have any samples in here yet, but this is from my pokeberry that I extracted some dyes from that, so I have to fill out these pages. And so along the way, I've been putting packs together and selling them in my Etsy shop of the various dyes that I've done, whether it's a paper or fabric or a combination. And that way, if you want to play along and create, your little recipe book here of how to do it and the results, um, well, you can play along. Either do them yourself or buy the packets and insert them in your book, or both, whatever suits your fancy. So I had already put this in the shop, but forgot to do a video on this one. So I thought, whoops, I think I better do a little flip through on this one so I can put it on the listing. So what I did with this, I took some of the purples that I did. Let me undo this right here. So you have a little, I think there's like three different three different dye baths here represented. I've got the black bean, I've got the pokeberry, those are right there, and then I have the Maiz Morado, which is right there. So let's go one by one. I didn't do a lot, like I said, with the black bean because I had played with that before, but just to give you some little samples to play with, um, I did enclose some of the eco prints that I did with the black bean. So it's kind of cool. So you have an envelope, and you'll have a tag, and then one of the CD holders. Came out a little grungy, but hey, grungy's good. Grungy's good. And so I make sure I label things so that what it was dyed with. So I just got here that that's the black bean. And I just fell in love with this picture of, I don't know what this, if it's a rose. No, it's not a rose. I don't know what kind of plant that is. But it came out, it looks like the same color when I have dyed in the past with the black beans. So I just thought I would put that there just because. All right. So the pokeberry. I had done some papers with the pokeberry, just a few. So I just threw in some samples of that. And I enclosed one of these laminated pokeberry stems from where I removed the actual berries to do the dye. I also did a little piece of this trim, and again, it's synthetic, so it didn't pick up a lot of the dye, but it's a very soft, what I would call like a lavender. I think it's pretty. And then again, just some pieces of papers that I did with the pokeberry to have a little representation of that if you're going to put it in your diary journal. So I'll put that back later. Okay, so we got that. So then when it comes to the Maiz Morado one, I have a little swatch in there that shows you, you know, what the dye looks like. And that is also right here. This is what the pokeberry dye looks like. So that's what the M&M, Maiz Morado, and the PB pokeberry. So that way you can put that also in your journal. So some of these were eco-printed. Excuse me. I stuck this in the dye bath when I was doing my printing, but there were no. I didn't put any leaves on these particular ones, just the larger papers. This is a envelope that folds up with a little peekaboo thing, but once it got boiled, it came apart. But that way, if you want to put something in the window, it's all open and ready for you to go, and you just need to put a little bit of glue right there, and you are ready to go. So that's there. I threw in some of the grunge papers that I had just thrown in. They look cool enough to include, so I decided to put some of those in there so that you can play with that. Those colors are so pretty. I just fell in love with this picture, thought it went with these colors, and said, hey, we're going to put that in there. And then here are some eco prints with done with that dye bath. And then I think these just came out really pretty. The process was fun doing these. It was a little, yeah, it was a little tricky, but that's how that all came out, and it all worked out at the end. I think they came out really pretty. So that is, in a nutshell, what I'm doing with these kits. I'm including the different dyes that I've worked with, and I thought because these were all kind of in the purple and grungy colors, I put these all together into one kit. Then I saw some of my little fabrics that I thought would look really cool if you made a journal out of these, and a little bit of the bling I thought would look pretty, and so those are also included in the kit. Alrighty, I shouldn't say kit, it's just a bundle. All right, so I'm not sure exactly what dye I'm going to try and work with. I think we decided we're going to move on from the purples for now, and I think I'm going to try for some green. I think that's what we decided. I don't remember. Anyway, it'll be a surprise for all of us when I figure out what I'm doing and what materials I'm going to be using. But anyway, these are in the shop, and I think you can have a lot of fun with these different fabrics and different papers and different examples of the different dyes. Thank you